The symbolism behind the story of Jesus calming the storm should bring great encouragement and hope for anyone facing a storm in life. After preaching to large crowds near the Sea of Galilee, Jesus and his apostles took a boat to the opposite shore to find some time and solitude to rest. As they crossed the sea, a storm with winds so great that the apostles thought they would die. Jesus was below deck sleeping throughout the storm, and the apostles rushed to wake him and ask why he didn't care. Jesus woke and told the storm to be still, and the winds stopped immediately. The apostles were shocked and still lacked faith that Jesus was the Son of God who even the winds and water obey. From the book of Matthew chapter 8 verse 23 to 27 stated, "Then he got into the boat and his disciples followed him." 24 Suddenly a furious storm came upon the lake, so that the waves swept over the boat. But Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him, saying, "Lord, save us. We're going to drown." He replied, "You have little faith. Why are you so afraid?" Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. The men were amazed and asked, "What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him." From the book of Mark chapter 4 verse 35 to 41 stated, "That day when evening came, he said to his disciples, 'Let us go over to the other side.' Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was, in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Quiet. Be still." Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." Meaning of Jesus calming the storm. The Lord's mastery over creation is another sign that he is the Messiah and is divine. Commands to the sea and waves can only be issued by God from the book of Job chapter 38 verse 8 to 11 and the book Psalm chapter 65 verse 5 to 6. Jesus was asleep because as man, he needed rest. In his incarnation, he assumed all the natural actions of the flesh, of which sleep is one. The image of Christ and his disciples in a boat is traditionally used to illustrate the church. God both permits storms and delivers us through them so that we can see his protection more clearly. Christ's rebuke of the storm is also an illustration of his calming the tempests in the human soul.